embrace equity, and we embrace equity because it creates a level playing field and gives everyone a fairer chance to be successful. Maud and I have one daughter and one son, and they both need completely different ways of support to chase their dreams. And it's the same in business, but we all need support. Companies should embrace equity as well, and not just because it's the right thing to do, but also because otherwise they might miss out some incredible talented people. Have a good night. Thank you.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. These are not just catchphrases. This is something that we have to adhere to make sure that every single person in this country deserves the respect and love for who they are. That's why I've spent the last 24 years of my life in Sri Lanka fighting for the rights of the LGBTIQ community in this country. They all deserve to have the best in life.
Equity is something very important to us. Alberto and I lead very separate, busy lives, but we always support each other no matter what, and never let gender get in the way of our goals. So let's embrace equity and make this world a healthier place to live in.
Males and as females has different hurdles and obstacles that we need to overcome to access what we really need in our life. As partners, it's essential and vital that we strive to overcome these together so that we can be the best that we want to be as professionals and as parents and as people.
We all have our advantages and disadvantages. I get to spend a lot of quality time with the kids, even if I don't appreciate it every time. I am very skilled because women carry the burden of a family survival. But he gets to be free, go to the gym, go to work, and commit to things without a complex web of family management. Even for me to be on this stage tonight, it took a lot of planning and support, with my husband putting the baby to bed tonight. It takes communication, understanding, and working together to make sure that we all achieve everything that we want to and be the best versions of ourselves. To us, that's equity in practice. Sorry. Thank you. Good night.
Equity. We practice equity at work. It should be practiced right through the world, and the world will be a happier, happier place.
My message is very simple. Love everyone the way you won't be loved.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Soraya de Souza. To me, okay, let me start again. I don't believe in equity in a relationship. Men and women are very different. Genetically, we've been built with a completely different blueprint. Men have their strengths and women have theirs. And to me, it's not about equality, it's about equity. And that's embracing each other's shortcomings, celebrating each other's strengths, and using that synergy to create a winning team. Thank you.
Good evening. As a career woman, entrepreneur, and a mother, I believe in embracing equity in all aspects of my life. Social equity is the only way forward for us to progress. And I walk the talk and I embrace equity in my personal life as well as my professional life. Thank you.
For us, gender equity is all about embracing the individual. You need to respect your partner's authentic self. So as an individual, I know that my husband will always respect my authentic self. So learn to respect the other individual's authentic self, and that's how you will reap the best benefits.
And as professionals in the healthcare sector, we embrace equity by providing individuals the care and support they need, depending on their individual needs, and we believe this leads to the best outcome possible. Thank you.
I'm Shan De Silva. I'm a non-binary model. Historically, societies around the world have deemed females, transgender people, and non-binary people as a weaker or less important than males. However, if we are to embrace equity and practice it in our lives as I do every day, we need to respect people for what they are, for their talents, skills, and their abilities, regardless of their gender. Thank you.
As well as building a family with our beautiful baby boy and multitasking with the curveballs that life throws our way has really shown us how to embrace the differences that make us each our own.
Equity to us is just like any other muscle in the human body. Take the first step. It might be as simple as looking after the little one while your wife's on a work call, or ironing your husband's shirt because he's late for an appointment. Work at it and watch yourselves grow stronger together through equity. Thank you everyone and have a great evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rangi Fernando. I'm a movement artist and soon to be a dance movement psychotherapist. As a mover, I see movement in any form and shape, and I believe that movement is our way of amplifying our DNA, regardless of what we call our figures, regardless of how we label ourselves. It's about being authentic in movement, and it's about being authentic in life. Thank you.
As a strong advocate for women's rights in the workplace, embracing equity is at the center of my personal ethos. As a plus-size woman, I lobby for more inclusion and access for women who want to get ahead on their own merit. And as a newlywed, I clearly understand that any successful partnership is based on accepting people just as they are.
Hi guys. I believe that nobody really knows why God made us. However, it is up to us to hang in there and find that out for ourselves. Despite the darkest moments, despite anybody trying to pull us down. If society or culture puts you in a box or labels you, that is not on you. That is on them. That is to make them feel safe and comfortable. You have a mission in this world, and you have a right to accept that mission and complete that mission on your own terms. So today, I say to everybody, let's embrace equity. Because as humans, we have so much important things that we have in common to bring us together as one than the futile differences that seem to break us apart. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hasatha and I embrace equity in our lives by having equal roles both in our home and work environment. The support that we constantly give one another has enabled us to really thrive as a couple and as individuals. And we hope that the example that we have set for our daughter gives her the comfort to know she's been born into a society where everything is available to her. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. God, in God's eyes, everyone is beautiful. He does not pick and choose whom He wants to love. He loves them all. So who are we to pick and choose whom we want to love? Everyone is there to be loved. Let's love each other, let's embrace equity, and let's live happily together always. Thank you.
foremost, thank you everyone for being with us. It's wonderful to have all of you here. And what's even more wonderful is the fact that we have repeat guests and, believe it or not, even in these straitened times, we have repeat sponsors. So before I say anything else, can we have a huge round of applause for my amazing, wonderful sponsors who have been with us throughout. Heineken, MasterCard, Triumph Sloggy, Serenia Holdings, the Cinnamon Brand, the best address in town, Supreme Flora, the best florist in town, Sotheby's, and all you wonderful people. Thank you for being with us today.
On behalf of the Daily FT, more importantly, your presence, I know it's a holiday, but you made it. Your presence here proves that you are committed to gender equality, women empowerment. And tonight, I'm sure, with the strong messages that we all have already heard, you're going to champion this cause and make Sri Lanka a better place to live. Thank you very much. There's a great lineup of events tonight, and please enjoy yourself.
One thing more, Nish sir, you're not going to like this. As you know, Interbrand is the world's leading global branding consultancy. And as part of Interbrand, I have one thing to say, and that is, there is no greater brand than a woman. And I'm sure you all agree with me. So let's hear it for all the amazing women here today.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Wonderful. I was not sure to get it. So I really thank you for this warm welcome and to be with me tonight. Dear ladies, who are so glamorous, I'm really impressed tonight by all these beautiful ladies who are with us, strong, courageous, powerful. Happy to see you here to celebrate an happy International Women's Day. It is a great pleasure and honor for me to have been invited as a keynote speaker for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, when I've been invited to deliver a speech on digital all innovation and technology to gender equality, I must confess that I was quite optimistic on the contribution of digitalization in the gender equality after the COVID pandemic. Looking at 18 months back, COVID-19 pandemic affected everyone's life. Despite all negative impacts, it has been recognized that the global pandemic and lockdown has been a booster for the digital transformation in our daily lives, with both positive and negative effects. I've selected a few positive side effects of this digital transformation. Strengthening adoption of remote communication technology as video conference, facilitating remote working collaboration, accelerating the access to global education programs via scientific webinars, enhancing flexible working arrangement like work from home, which is now a standard in most of the business organizations. Encouraging the urban population of main cities in Europe to move to less expensive remote areas for a better quality of life and work-life balance. I will just give you an example, maybe with my name, you guess I'm French. So I will give an example about Paris. And Paris saw for the first time a decrease of the price per square meter when the rest of the country enjoyed the opposite. So developing new technologies for our daily life, contactless payment, online banking, telemedicine, teleconsultation in high-income country and also in low to mid-income country. It's well established in various publications that COVID-19 pandemic has been a driver for the digital transformation. The fourth technological revolution is ongoing thanks to technology, automation, and collaboration. At the same time, negative side effects were clearly identified. I will focus mainly on three. One is in contradiction with the previous positive impact. This is no work balance by extensive working time, lack of social interaction, back-to-back virtual meeting, unscheduled event, etc. The second one is about social employment issues with more home expenses, no social life, network issue, technology reliant. And the last one is about data security, cybersecurity, and lack of technology robustness. The post-COVID situation worldwide requested to take effective steps for the economy and the well-being of the population. Of course, this is a big picture. An in-depth analysis will emphasize the gap between developed and emerging countries, urban versus rural areas, younger versus older population, etc. Within this perspective, what are the real impact of the digital transformation on gender equality? Looking at the scientific definition, digital transformation is the use of information, communication, and technology. It's expected to trigger changes in customer experience, business model, and in our daily life. In my research work on different publications from UN and other institutions, it appears that despite several initiatives, the gap gender remains or even more increases, limiting the benefit of digital transformation across high, mid, or low-income countries. In 2022, it's estimated that 50% of women worldwide are still offline. In low to mid-income countries, internet penetration is 53% for men and only 41% for women. I look at the data for Sri Lanka and found a few statistics. Only 20% of households have a computer. Less than 50% of the population use internet, and even less than 50% when it's about email usage. If we look from different interesting private initiatives from other emerging countries, I will just give the example of Rwanda, where 3,500 women farmers are fully connected through technology information, markets, and finance to run their exploitation. However, except some specific projects, women are underrepresented in the access to internet in Sri Lanka and globally. This is a worldwide observation that finally, despite all hopes, digitalization didn't fill the gap of the gender equality. It even poses the risk of perpetuating the existing pattern of gender inequality on access to internet, affordability of the connection and devices, security of women on internet, education, etc. Poor women belonging to racial minorities experience the negative impact of digitalization more acutely. If technology as such is not gendered, the social and economical circumstances can influence the development and the use of digital technology. This era is marked by persistent poverty, rising inequalities, and even reversals of progress in gender equality. As the concrete and recent examples of reversal situation, the first to come to my mind is the loss of women and girls' rights in Afghanistan, where even digital education is now prohibited. Iran with heavy protest on the women condition, it's another burden. Women in Western countries are neither protected against the deterioration of their acquired rights, such as the revision of the abortion bill in the US. In underdeveloped economies, the limited access for girls in educational opportunities with or without technologies, the limited number of women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, what we call STEM, is amplified the gender inequality in the educational sphere. I was really happy to read about the recent initiative of the Minister of Education of Sri Lanka last week. He declared on 30th of March, STEAM, because in Sri Lanka, STEM moves STEAM with the A, standing for art, is now included in the process of education of Sri Lanka, like in other 96 countries. He declared as well having the ambitious goal to minimize the gap between higher education and general education by this focus on STEAM education method. Even if the access gap to digital technology between women and men has reduced, there are still many women lacking the necessary technological and social capability to compete in a global online environment. According to recent statistics, the percentage of women graduated in engineering or of ICT is significantly lower than men. We will find the higher representation of women in education and healthcare. The family and social environment play a main role in the education of girls. A patriarchal society will tend to reproduce the pattern of the past. I remember as a young student, my father coaching my sister and myself to achieve successfully our studies. He was quite modern for the time, and his objective was to give to his two daughters the proper education, which will allow us to make our own choices in life without being dependent on her husband. I must confess it was quite tough for us. However, I never regret this investment when at the same period many friends were going out, starting to earn money. I was still stuck studying chemistry. It was the cost of our independence and autonomy in life. Education on its own will not solve the problem, which can even be magnified at the workplace. A recent study has shown a gender pay gap amongst online platforms even. In 2020 in Ukraine, men were earning 2.2 times more than women in the IT freelance platform. This is a matter of fact. So what to do? What to do as women leaders to close the gap of gender equality? What to do as men, father, husband, brother to close the gap? Why not starting in our sphere of influence? As a leader of business company, we can pave the way by defining ambitious goals for parity of men and women as employees, manager, at the executive committee level. I'd like to share with you my own experience in the B-Brown Group, which is since the last 5 years driven by Mrs. Brown, CEO of a group of 60,000 employees, achieving 8.5 billion euro in 2022, and still a family-owned company for the 7th generation. She decided an aggressive recruitment policy encouraging women to apply for managerial positions to reach a well-balanced ratio of men and women in all levels of the organization, including at the board of directors. We as leaders and probably role models are in a position to encourage women education in the STEAM and ICT to enhance women employability in this sector. An increasing representation will contribute to facilitate gender equality, reduce the bias in the digital technology, and facilitate the break of glass ceiling. Lobbying or being more socially active is requested to empower rural women and girls, facilitating their internet access and strengthening technological education. Sri Lanka, after the severe economic crisis, is currently at a crossroad. It can seize the opportunity of becoming a mid-high income country. Empowering women, focusing on latest technology and digitalization amongst other major reforms, can accelerate the country's recovery. Sri Lanka was one or even the first country in the world to nominate a female prime minister at the head of the country. It was more than 50 years ago. I look today at the current ratio of female lawmakers in Sri Lanka is 5%. Fortunately, Sri Lanka has taken recently some positive steps to address the gap of women representation in the political arena to achieve gender equality with introduction of quota at the government and professional level. Barriers to women participation are still high. However, women of Sri Lanka who are here also tonight are getting more opportunities to influence the local politics. So, let's do it. To conclude on the result of my research on digital gender equality, I'd like to share with you a blink of eye of the history with a capital H. So I will ask you a first question. Did you know Sophie Germain? Did some of you heard about Sophie Germain? Oh, it's working. Sophie Germain was a French mathematician and physician of the 19th century. Like many other scientific women from this period, she was not credited and fully recognized for her scientific works. However, she is now known for her mathematical theorem and moreover as a famous physician who made the building of the Eiffel Tower possible. Without her, the Eiffel Tower will not exist. Now the question, why am I talking about Sophie Germain here in Sri Lanka? It's a famous name. It started to be a famous name, Sophie Germain in Sri Lanka. She represents the state of the art in the technology of submarine communication cables across the world ocean. So this is a picture, and you can see Sophie Germain. She is a cable ship under construction in Colombo Harbor for Orange Marine Company, major actor in the laying of submarine cables. This is the result of a project from French general contractor, a Norwegian ship architect, and the Japanese Sri Lanka ship constructor in the Colombo shipyard. More than 200 years later, she is gaining notoriety and becoming a symbol of the highest technology in the telecom. Can I have the next slide? This is History Revenge. So this cable ship boat will be launched in 2 months from Colombo. To conclude, let's be proactive. I would like to have the final word with a quote from Ban Ki-moon, the former South Korean Secretary General of UN. Achieving gender equality requires the engagement of women and men, girls and boys. It's everyone's responsibility. I will add, whatever our position in the society, we can, each of us, contribute to minimize this gap. Thank you very much. Wishing you a happy new year, joyful and prosperous.
For more latest news, subscribe to FTTV.